In the next episode of The Amazing Digital Circus, a new character will appear. But what will they look like? Will they replace an existing character, or will they be introduced as an additional resident of the circus? Well, don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to answer all these questions. As you may have noticed, new characters in The Amazing Digital Circus often appear unexpectedly, but I have always been curious about why their number is even. Despite seeming insignificant, watching this video to the end will help you understand that the even or odd number of residents mainly determines the probability of a new character's appearance, and I'm going to explain why. Currently, we already have Pomni, Jax, Zooble, and others. We won't consider Caine and his puppet robot since they are not residents of the circus and are proven to be artificial intelligence. At the moment, there are 6 characters, but is it possible that there will be more? Imagine for a moment if 10 or more characters lived in the digital circus simultaneously. That would be madness, right? As we all know, after the release of the pilot episode, there was a theory circulating on the internet that an entirely new character would appear, replacing an abstract character. While the official authors didn't confirm this, the situation with Pomni and Kaufmo, as you've just witnessed, gives us confidence in this theory. As soon as Kaufmo disappeared, Pomni was born. Some may argue that it's just a coincidence, but what if it's not? And if it is a coincidence, can we say that Caine is somehow involved? Remember that when Pomni entered the digital circus, no one knew that Kaufmo was an abstraction. But could this mean that Kaufmo is still alive? And does this mean that more than 6 characters can coexist in the circus? I believe we'll find the answer to this question in the upcoming episodes, but I want to mention characters who once lived in the amazing digital circus, but were long abstracted. There is a great mystery about what happened to them before the digital circus, and how they became abstract monsters. However, in the amazing digital circus, there is one character who knows everything that happened in the circus before Pomni arrived, and that's Kaine. This strange and somewhat frightening chess figure lived in the circus longer than anyone, and Gangle likely witnessed it all. As we know, there are numerous crossed symbols on the doors, likely representing abstract characters. But we are not interested in their fate, it's the quantity and order in which they were abstracted. I think the series Kaine might show, or at least talk about this. If you didn't know, each new episode of The Amazing Digital Circus is dedicated to a new character, as we've noticed over the years. There lived a significant number of characters in The Amazing Digital Circus, and it's likely a life cycle. Suppose a character disappears and a new one replaces them. Now, remember what I said about odd and even numbers for symbols. Before that, let's add the story of the poor clown Kaufmo, as he will become a defining and crucial part of this video. Let's go back and remember that currently, 6 characters live in the circus. It's an even number, and that's what matters. If the circus is supposed to have an even number of characters, then Kaufmo is still alive. So if Kaufmo is still alive, we'll have a new character, making the total 8. But if Kaufmo is genuinely no longer a resident of the circus, our chances of seeing a new character decrease significantly, if not vanish. Saying that the number of characters will be even or not will be a stretch. But if you think about it, initially, we were shown 6 characters in the introduction. And if we're going to increase this number, it will be even, because we don't know the plot of the next episode. Maybe Caine will come up with a task where residents work in pairs. Many people believe that Kaufmo is still alive and simply hidden somewhere in the circus. The transformation into an abstract monster is some illusion of Caine or someone else. This means that this new character has a good chance of appearing at the beginning of the next episode. I hope I didn't break your brain trying to explain this insane theory of how characters cyclically replace each other. Now that we've covered this, we can talk about who the next character in the Amazing Digital Circus will be. Gooseworks, the main creator of this indie animated series, initially explained that Kaufmo was supposed to be in the series in its original form, as we even have his complete 3D model. However, when writing the final version of the script, it was decided to get rid of Kaufmo because there were already many characters. This makes us think that all of this is nonsense, and there will be no new characters. At least that's what I initially thought. But if you watch the pilot episode of The Amazing Digital Circus, you will find that in this episode, there are a huge number of hints, hidden meanings, references, riddles, and everything else. This will not only confuse us a bit at this time, but also surprise us even more in the future. However, I repeat, Kaufmo decides whether there will be a new character or not. If Kaufmo is still alive, then yes. it is very likely that we will see another important character in the story. And if Kaufmo is no longer with us, unfortunately, the chance of someone else entering the circus approaches 0. But this means that a new character will appear as an addition to those already living in the circus. Because if any of them finally goes mad and abstracts, then in that case, we will 100% see a new hero. Regardless of Kaufmo's fate, the circus's golden rule will not disappear anywhere. And the golden rule is, if someone from the circus residence abstracts, someone else immediately takes their place. I also think that the next episode will be dedicated to Kinger. We will be able to understand the entire mechanism of people entering the digital circus. Let's imagine a situation where we will definitely see a new character, regardless of whether Kaufmo is alive or not. Let's try to understand what might happen. Remember that in the case of abstracted Kaufmo, his place was immediately taken by Pomni. It happened as if automatically, and no one had time to understand that something was wrong with Kaufmo. So now we need to find out who the new character will replace and when it will happen. I think Gooseworks and Glitch will not hesitate with such a twist, so we should expect a similar situation in the next episode. It is officially announced that the third episode will focus on Zooble, which means we cannot consider her as the main candidate for the role of the abstract monster. Jax would be the most unexpected choice, but since he has become so popular among digital circus fans, his disappearance could be bad for the entire digital circus universe. This means that Jax is not going anywhere anytime soon, at least until the end of the first season. It would be unwise to change Pomni, as she is the main character who, unlike everyone else, has a specific goal to escape from this digital hellhole. According to the Gooseworks Tumblr page, 8 episodes are planned for the first season, the same number as in other Glitch projects. The first episode was about Pomni, and we have a total of 6 characters, so the remaining 5 episodes will tell us the fate of each of them. But there are still 2 episodes ahead. I think the last episode will be about how Pomni's story ends in the circus, and we will see if she finally goes mad and leaves the circus. And I think that in that case, there will be another episode where they will tell us about someone else we haven't seen yet. Now let's move on. Ragatha shows no signs of madness anytime soon, while Kinger and Gangle are very unstable, which can lead to abstraction. But unlike Gangle, who is actually sad and tearful all the time, Kinger is really on the edge, and this distinguishes him from being an abstract monster. Perhaps even the next episode will be dedicated to Kinger, and we will be shown his past and how he came to such a state. And this may even reveal all the secrets related to his wife, whom we saw earlier abstracted. And the final point of his life in the series will be transforming into an abstract monster, which means that in the next episode, we will see a new character who closely resembles Kinger. Because Kaufmo and Pomni are both entertainment industry workers. One is a clown, and the other is a jester. Well, if the abstraction of characters has nothing to do with the appearance of new ones, then I think that in each episode, we will see new characters who, unfortunately, will not be the main ones, but will be added to the story of the main characters. In this case, none of those we have already seen will succumb to the terrible phenomenon that happened to Kaufmo. But in the end, I would like to say that we will definitely see someone new in the amazing digital circus. But for now, we do not know under what circumstances. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you really like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next episode.